Andrew, thank you for coming to CCLS to talk to us a little bit about your exciting new course. First, perhaps you could just tell us in a few words about yourself. You will be running the course and you are widely regarded as one of top free and open source software legal experts in Europe. So something about your background and perhaps your present work. That would be great.
That's great. Well, thank you, Noam. It's great to be here. I started my career as a software developer, during that time I became very interested in free and open source software, and then I requalified as a lawyer, and most of my practice has been involved with technology companies, specifically free and open source software companies. And I'm currently a solicitor consultant at Bristows, where I lead their open source software team. But I have two hats on. And I also run a consultancy called Orcro, which specializes in providing the more practical and consultant side of open source software licensing compliance.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps now we can move on to the course itself. And it would be excellent if you could please describe in brief the course, its significance. A lot of people are aware of the fact that more than 80% of code that is presently created is released under free and open source software licenses, and we can find open source licenses in most, if not all, products and services that are widely used. So what are you planning to offer in this course, and how do you think it's going to advance the knowledge and the skill sets of people that will be taking the course?
Well, when people are thinking about free and open source software, it's easy for them to focus on the licensing side of things. And the licensing is clearly very, very important. But during the course of my practice, both as a lawyer and in the consultancy, I've learned that the wider context is very significant as well. And this is to do with a number of factors, one of which is the sheer scale of software development these days. So it's not unusual for an application to contain, for example, 100,000 different components. Those are all under different free and open source software licenses. So what I want people to come away with is to understand not only the licensing context of free and open source software, but also to understand how the software is developed in practice and what mechanisms and techniques exist around that development in order to assist with their consumption and their lawful use of open source software. So the course will obviously consist of information about the licensing. We'll be looking at some of the legal aspects, but also looking at the wider context of, for example, management structures to help manage the vast number of components involved, and also the sort of software tooling that needs to be employed in order to do that at scale.
Fantastic. So it seems to me that this is the kind of course that would be relevant first for IT lawyers out there, but also for any IP lawyer who is interested in tech. Would you say that?
Absolutely. And obviously many of these lawyers will be well experienced in the areas of IT and IP anyway. So what we need to combine, we need to realize this is really a multidisciplinary approach where not only is legal understanding important, but understanding of the way that industry works in practice. And of course, open source is different in that it's very much built around also open source software communities, and understanding the dynamics of open source software communities is also key to a fundamental understanding of the whole ecosystem.
Is it the case that this is not a jurisdiction-specific type of course, so it is applicable globally?
Correct. Yes. So, I mean, my work personally is very much based outside the UK. Probably about sort of 10 to 15% of my work is UK based. All of my other clients are overseas. I do a lot of work in China and Japan, for example, and also in the US and throughout Europe. And obviously there are some jurisdictional differences in the way that intellectual property laws are applicable, but there are sort of very broad commonalities between them. So the course aims to give people a grounding from a global perspective, and to enable them to apply those principles essentially anywhere in the world.
That's brilliant. So perhaps finally something about the format. How are you planning to conduct the course? Is it going to be only a series of one-directional, so to speak, lectures, or is it going to include or involve interactive elements?
We're going to include interactive elements. We found in the past that it's very effective. Students like the ability to be able to perform exercises, and these are practical exercises based on issues that I've found have arisen with clients in the real world, and it enables the students to determine potentially creative solutions to particular open source issues that they may have. So it's not purely based on legal problems. There's also practical problems that are sort of based in the development process. And I really want to expose people who are on the course to how the development process operates in the real world and issues that they may come across in practice, and how best to deal with those.
Well, it has been a real pleasure, and I, for one, am looking forward to sit in the course myself. I can say, as a professor for intellectual property and technology law, it sounds like a fantastic opportunity, and I am sure that many lawyers here and around the world would be very happy to take advantage of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Noam, and I'm really looking forward to getting started.